My name is Bob Montesano. I met Rich when I was an undergrad at Northern Illinois University, and he was a graduate student there. And we shared an apartment from 1990 to 1991. It really is a shame that I haven't seen Rich in a long, long time, or even talked to him very much over the years, except for some brief conversations on Facebook. I will always cherish the friendship that we had back all those many years ago at good old NIU. You know, Rich was probably the closest thing I ever had to an older brother, someone who was older than me that I could bounce ideas off of or come to for advice. And that was the thing I remember about Rich, was you could party with him, you could be silly with him, but you could also have serious, meaningful conversations with him. Now, while he was older than me, I think even back then he would admit that I was probably a little bit wiser than him, especially when it came to topics like women. In fact, I remember on several occasions he came to me for advice on that very topic. And that leads me to the one thing that I admired the most about Rich, was his ability to be the butt of a joke, to be made fun of, to be picked on. Sure, he could give it out just like the best of us, but I've never met anyone in my life that took it as well as he did. I have fond memories of being in the theater department and in shows with Rich, and of course just hanging out in our apartment, whether it be watching old reruns of 80s sitcoms, or playing a mean game of Nerf basketball in our living room, or having him teach me the finer things about food, like if you buy coffee ice cream and put it in your coffee, that's quite a nice little treat. And of course I remember watching and talking about sports quite a bit. Of course he was a big fan of St. Louis sports like Cardinals and Blues, and he was a huge hockey fan. I remember watching the NHL playoffs during that year, and it was more than I had ever watched the NHL playoffs before that. And it was because Rich gave me such a better understanding and appreciation of the game that I still think of still today. I also would like to thank someone who also stayed with us during a brief time during that year, and that's David Perriam, who has been a glue that has kept the NIU Theater Department together so that we can still bond and remember what it was like to be together all those many years ago. So goodbye, Rich. I'll always remember that big, booming, deep voice that you had that I know right now is giving God a run for his money.